This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street. Both drivers and walkers need to do their part to keep roads safe. When you're walking, remember, the drivers may not always see you, so remember to use these tips to continue to walk safely. Wear bright clothes. Always use crosswalks and obey signs. Lights and reflectors should be used. And finally, keep alert and do not walk distracted. This message brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
CJ Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Appliances have the best prices in town, sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'm telling you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882, CJ Used Appliances. Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30 plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Graphics Printing. C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Summer Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778, 2508 Summer Avenue, C&S Motors Auto Sales. And good evening again, and welcome to Talk Back Live in the evening. We're coming on special programming tonight. It's now 9:05, 5 hour, 9 o'clock time, and a very pleasant good evening to you on a Sunday evening. And there's a lot of things around the country. but some things going on in Memphis as well. And some things from what we understand that may be going on a little bit later in Memphis in just a little bit. Hopefully it won't be anything big problem with that is potentially on in Memphis just a little bit later. Also, I want to keep you in a couple other things we may talk about, but we're on to talk about this situation about Mr. George Floyd murdered by that's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. And then that's really kind of after good evening. That is to everybody out there listening as well. For everybody coming in. But one of the things, man, all weekend, it's been unbelievable. Now, we came on the first day. I think it was the day after the protest in Memphis.
Yeah.
And kind of talked about that a little bit. But since then, a lot has happened really around the country. It's taken off like a powder keg, man.
Oh, it is.
You talking about it's lit the match, and everybody, everywhere, every city you can name in your mind that you could possibly imagine in the United States is protesting vehemently because of police brutality, because of what happened to George Floyd, because of relations in the all kind of wraps itself on this one situation, wrapped itself around George Floyd's situation, and not with his. With Ahmaud Arbery, which is still very recent.
Yeah.
With the young lady.
Very recent.
The young lady that was killed in her bed by the police, the black woman, when they illegally went into the wrong house and shot her 8 times while laying in the bed. All those situations coming almost in succession to each other within weeks.
And this also reminds us of other shootings and other of black people that have happened as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's one of those things, man, just crazy. So we're here to talk about with the latest that we're hearing going on, as well as kind of, somewhat recapping what's been going on this weekend, some of the highlights, if you want to call it that, or lowlights of what's been happening. But it is really unprecedented, at least in my lifetime, right? To see this amount of passion and anger.
Yeah.
To this, it's really unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. I'm in a little volume over there. It really is with this whole thing, and sometimes you really think to yourself, "Is this really going on? Is it really true?" But from what I understand, from what I get now, I don't think it is as bad with all involved as we may would be. There are some cities out there where crazy things are going on and things of that nature, but thankfully it's not as bad as I don't. Well, according to me, that's what I feel, it's not. But when you're out there, and you got this protest going on, people have the right to protest, but as long as they do it peacefully. Now, I take my hat off to the Tennessee.
Yes,
they have really doing very well as far as constraining themselves, trying to peacefully. Of course, everybody's not going to be peaceful in the group that's out there. Some people are going to be different. Some people are called to stay. For the most part, the people in Memphis, Tennessee, have been doing a great job as containing themselves. Now, in just a few, we'll talk about something that may have the potential to go down in the Memphis, Tennessee area that may ruin all of that. Just a little bit that's coming up from what we are on tonight. But we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. And also, our we'll talk about it. Things on your mind, you want to talk about something and maybe give them information to other people, what's going on. 901-213-6000 is the number to call. You can leave your message with us. We're on Facebook Live right now, John, as we speak.
That's right.
There you go.
Facebook, TalkBackLive with Bob and Josh. Find our Facebook page. And we're live there, as well as other places. We're also live on podcast on the Spreaker app, where you can listen to it in living as well. So y'all go check that out also. So y'all check all that out, man. Spreaker TalkBackLive Network on Spreaker, Facebook Live with Bob, and like our page there. But man, so much. I don't want to latest.
Yeah.
What? Oh, lead into it. Or?
Yeah. Let's get into what we're actually clips of what's been done as well. What we already. Now, also, Josh, I heard the president yesterday, was it last night or
yes,
today,
last night,
had to be taken down to the bunker,
underground
bunker, the White House.
Yeah. So what happened there? Was what you're talking about. D.C. is another place where the protests have been happening. So, hey, a lot of people went to the White House. People are frustrated. They want to, the president can use his power to do some things, and we're going to go down there and see if we can let our voices be heard. I don't see a problem with it. But, they, from what I'm hearing, they actually put an extra fence in the White House. Protesters were kind of getting the shaking that fence, and it got to the point where the Secret Service needed to rush the president to the underground bunker. And of course, he was, very safe down there. I think that might have been a little bit overreaction, maybe. But, I mean, they do what they do, right?
Yeah.
Even if they feel overreact to take him down there. But nonetheless, I hear they're still protesting down there today, as well as New York City. There were reports on video, actually, of a police car running the crowd.
Yeah.
In New York City. Right before we came on, about an hour before we came live, there was a video I saw, and I wasn't able to capture it. It was video of an 18 winter truck. They have a bridge blocked off. The police for only the protesters where they can protest and do that. Traffic was supposed to drive where this truck drove through it into where the protesters were. I don't know if anybody was hurt or not, but I did see protesters jump on the truck.
The big truck.
Yes.
Yeah.
But just they jumped on the truck, opened the door. I mean, I'm talking about 18-wheeler type truck.
Yeah.
They jumped on people on it. They ripped the driver's seat, and it took them down basically. So that was pretty nuts.
Okay, who ripped the driver's seat?
The protesters.
Okay, the protesters.
I mean, that's the people that's out there.
Okay, did they beat him up? Okay, wow.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's 18-wheeler. He drove his truck. He stopped because they jumped all on it.
Okay.
So they opened the door, ripped him out, and then beat him up.
Wow.
The police come and separate him. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, that type of thing, I don't know.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna opinion on that. Just because I don't want to halfway with it. At least my opinion. I don't have a problem with them doing it.
Okay.
Because guess what? You're gonna put people's lives at risk by being a fool. The police already say you're not supposed to drive over there.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? You're trying to kill somebody.
Yeah.
So guess what? You get your butt whipped. Just like it was a guy, and I think it was in it was somewhere. He had a bow and arrow. So an older white guy, a real bow and arrow, and was firing shots at people in the crowd.
Okay, I don't know. I heard about that particular story. About the truck. But there's a lot of things going on in Nashville, St. Louis, New York, Los Angeles, Louisville, Kentucky, Atlanta, Georgia, and also like something big that's going down in Memphis, potentially. Well, there's a story out. There's something potential that could be going down big tonight right here in Memphis, Tennessee. So we're going to get to that in just
I can go ahead and talk
here.
about it if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not a video or anything, but it's
we're going to be pulling up on you some videos and some footage of some things that have already gone down. But from what we understand, later tonight, I don't know how long it's going to be, how long it takes to travel a couple of 4 hours, I guess, from Atlanta to Memphis. It's about 400 people that are headed from Atlanta, Georgia, headed to the Memphis, Tennessee area. And their purpose,
Yeah, to cause riots, to cause destruction.
Cause riots, or basically just protest?
No, I mean, here's the thing. Now, again, this is precisely what I've heard from my own sources, and some of y'all have seen it as well. It's been shared on social media, but I heard from sources that have people in the police department. High alert, Saddle Creek area in particular. There was, in the police department on high alert, 400 people from Atlanta coming to Memphis to cause mayhem, to riot, and to do other things. I don't know who they are or what the will be in doing so, but that's crazy. Now, we all know what's been going on in Atlanta already. The past 3 or 4 days have been quite crazy, and you know.
And you heard from the mayor
of
Atlanta. If you got a clip, you can pull up and hear what she had to say about what's in Atlanta and what she wants to say and what she is saying about all the stuff that's going on across the country. And if that is true, folks, that people are headed from another location, Memphis, Tennessee area to cause a riot or to protest, why would they want to come from Atlanta, Georgia, Memphis to protest when they could in their own city? But from what we are going to a shopping center in town, and why there, Josh?
I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah,
nobody knows. I mean, it's just going off this.
Yeah, I don't know. They want to call people there or
just speculate. I mean,
it's just the news that we've gotten. So hopefully that will not happen and will not go down. But from what we understand in Memphis, Tennessee, people have been pretty good, like we said. If we got the audio video of the mayor in Atlanta, Georgia, ready to go, we'll take a look and listen to this and what she has to say, and inform of what's going on with the group headed toward Memphis, Tennessee from Atlanta, and some things going on in other cities across America as well. Folks, listen and take a look to this, and we'll be back after 01216020 if you have any comments yourself or if you have anything you want to say about the situation. Take a listen. We'll only be on for a few minutes.
Above everything, I am a mother. I am a mother to 4 children in one of them is 18 years old. And when I saw murder Floyd, I heard my mother was hurt. And on yesterday, when I heard there were rumors about violent protests in Atlanta, I did what a mother would do. I called my son and I said, "Where are you?" I said, "I cannot protect you, and black boys shouldn't be out today." So you're not going to concern, care where we are. I wear this in every day. What I see happening in the streets of Atlanta is not, this is not a protest. This is not in the spirit of Martin Luther King Jr. It's chaos. Not a legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. and the civil rights movement. You're not protesting anything running out brown liquor in your face, breaking windows in the city. T.I. and Killer Mike on the side. So when you burn the city, you're burning down our country. America, go and register to vote. Show up at the polls on June 9th. Do it in November. Change we need in this country. You are disgracing our city. You are disgracing the life of George Floyd and every other person who has been killed in this country. We are better than this. We're better than this as a city. We are better than this as a country. Go home. Go home.
All right, you heard the mayor of Atlanta, Georgia, make her statement, and Josh, she said, we're better than this. Go home. And people are, she said, having liquor drinking and going out and causing confusion, tearing up our city, destroying the very neighborhoods where we live and where people have their businesses and where black people have their own business. But to me, what's the problem here? I mean, what are they to prove? If you're going to tear your own neighborhood, black businesses and destroy black businesses and things, I mean, what's the point? I mean, to me, it's not doing any good.
No, I agree.
And I'm not saying to the white community tearing up businesses, but what are you doing? What are you trying to prove? What are you gaining by tearing up black businesses and black-owned businesses in the black community? It's hurt people that are business owners.
Yeah.
So, this is what she is saying here, too, as well, Josh.
Yeah, and to your point, man, I mean, it's just so much you could say to what she's saying. It's a shame because I've seen so many, even see the people that are those business owners, right? Think about it. Y'all know how hard it is to start a business. How hard it is to save money and to do all the things you need to have a building and to do all this stuff and let alone to provide product consistently trying to serve and to let something like this end your dream. Like, this is in Minneapolis. It was a man that had a sports bar that he was planning to open, right? It was not ready to be open. And that thing is destroyed completely.
Yeah.
It's gone. Protesters, rioters, whoever you want to say, destroyed that business. Can you imagine? The guy doesn't have any insurance. He canceled his insurance because he couldn't afford it because of the coronavirus situation, put him back for when he was going to start his business and everything else he had to pay for.
And some of these businesses had to be closed because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And
then on top of this,
trying to prove a point and destroy black-owned businesses about George Floyd, the situation where he was murdered by his officer. As a matter of fact, he is charged with manslaughter and third-degree murder.
Third-degree murder.
And I don't like the idea that he's been charged with third-degree murder. But would he be found guilty if he was charged with first-degree murder?
I think that situation, and I get it, is too light, but at the same time, I think they have to at least at a realistic area. Now, I know people aren't going to like that, but I mean, the conviction. Like, look, I would love if you could just shoot for the death penalty right away.
Okay, if you look at it, it was intentional, though. I mean,
it was
to a lot of people, and to me, it's intentional to what they've done.
It was.
I don't think the guy resisted anything.
No, he didn't.
But the fact of the matter is, he was already handcuffed.
Yes,
he was already in custody, and for whatever reason he got on the ground, I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell me, how did he get on the ground? Why? Was he forced to the ground? And then this guy put his hands in his pocket and just put his knee on his neck and just kept rubbing. I mean, he was pushing down. You could see him actually pushing down on the guy's neck and would not let it breathe. And the guy was saying, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Please let me. I can't breathe. And, when the guy called on his mother, mom, and has been passed away.
Yeah, for 2
years.
And I said this before,
situation.
Do you know how desperate it is for a man to have to yell out? That had to be at the very edge of desperation for him. To do, especially knowing that she's passed as well.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's the most that whole thing. I almost broke me watching it.
Yeah, and he said he was dying at that point.
Yeah, I think so.
And he probably saw his mom.
Yeah.
From what I understood, this guy had a job. He was again believer, Christian. He witnessed and
he was in
the gospel to people on the streets, and people, type of thing. So to do what they did to this guy, counterfeit 20, and to get it. I mean, when you get change back from getting
exactly,
but even though that he was handcuffed, and then for them to in handcuffs, and then to murder, and then the other police officers just stood around there for what?
Yeah,
the guy was being murdered. He was being choked out by this other officer with his knee on his neck, and I really don't understand how or why this Mr. Floyd was already handcuffed. He was in custody, and for him to do what he did, and then to just rub it in, his hands in his pocket, and the other officer did nothing. They absolutely nothing. Some people say these other officers should be charged with
on the nose. I think on one guy in jail yet. This is the one guy. Got him charged for murder and what was it, manslaughter. So what are they waiting on with these other? I'll tell you something. A lot of this could have been, to me, a lot of this burning and this riots and these protests could have been to some degree if they would have arrested an officer the day of. The day of. Look, do you know how many protesters arrested since the murder of George Floyd by the police officer? Tons, hundreds around the country. Instantly. They're not waiting to arrest them. They're not waiting until those protesters go home and arrest them later. You get what I'm saying?
All right.
What world is the holdup? It just doesn't make any sense. You got these three guys still out free, hanging around the community, that these protests are on like nothing is wrong. I think these people have a serious problem with that. I don't blame them. I don't blame them whatsoever.
I mentioned earlier that he should face the death penalty.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard anybody else say that.
No.
You think that's too much? That's what people say.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to either,
but that would be,
folks, what do you think he should be charged with? Do you think the other officers in to question here as being around and did absolutely nothing and allowed this guy to be choked out? As a matter of fact, the guy was dead before they put him on the stretcher.
Yeah.
They just pronounced him dead at the hospital officially. And we're talking about as well, there is a rumor, I guess you can call it. We don't know for sure, but there's a report that there's about 400 people that leave it or have left the Atlanta, Georgia area, Tennessee.
That's what's been reported. I'm hearing that know about this, and there was talk about Saddle Creek area being an area that's going to be targeted for whatever reason.
Is this a shopping center in Germantown?
Germantown area. So the Saddle Creek, if y'all know, then y'all know, area. So be careful there. Matter of fact, they've already closed stores in that area hours ago. I heard, and they don't want to take any chances. Matter of fact, I heard there's some Walmart in the city are closing really early. They close real early.
Really?
Because they don't want to take chances happening like it's happening in these other cities. Now, I hadn't heard of one place in Memphis County where looters or anybody have done anything. So
yeah,
I don't blame the businesses for taking.
Well, when you have other people leaving other cities, and coming to your area,
you never
what
know.
has been required, you come here.
Yeah.
You never happen when they get here. Police department, sheriff department, other people, per sure. Highway patrols involved as waiting in place for these people if they do get here from Atlanta, Georgia. 400 people, folks. It's not like 40 people. This is reported that there's nearly 400 that are headed to the Memphis, Tennessee, from Atlanta, Georgia, to protest or their intentions to do here as well. And that's why we're on tonight. I don't understand. I don't know what.
Comments here if you want me to read some of these. Verdell, good evening. Good evening. Albert Citizen, he says, great to see another evening show. He said, let me shut off the TV and get a plate of food. So I appreciate that, man. He says, man, it's been crazy. I haven't been able to take my eye off CNN. Across the nation, people are. Albert said, Minneapolis police are not better. What the disrespect of American law by the kids? Don't be distracted by the burn. It makes you focus on the wrong crime. He says, oh, is anyone coronavirus rules? Hey, look, you know what?
Well, yeah, you have a point there.
They ain't look, and I can't even say, I don't know if I can say I can't blame them, but man, look, you know, this is bigger than, I don't know, bigger than that, I don't know. Bigger than the coronavirus. Bigger than the coronavirus. A human life.
Yeah,
but
either way you go, you got people's lives involved.
Yeah.
And, you know, the coronavirus could be effectiveness, you know, it could be passed on to people in a big crowd like this and what's going on. But, you know, this protest, do you think is worthy for the people, what they're doing, to be protesting concerning Mr. George Floyd and being murdered? What we say? It was murder.
Absolutely.
You know, there's no other thing about it, being murdered by the, what is it, Minneapolis?
The
police.
Hey, let me throw this at you.
Yeah.
Because I've had, you know, there's been so much stuff I've been thinking about and wanting to say quick. About the protesting, though, and the riots and all this stuff, to me, it's a matter of one simple thing. When you have a constant problem like you have in America right now with the killing of police officers constantly killing Americans, whether it's men or women, in all sorts of situations where it's not called for, there's only so much people are going to do before they snap, before they react in a violent way, before a nice act is over. And like I said, I'm not approving of action, but you can only, look, everybody knows in life, you can only push somebody so far all the time.
Yeah.
You poke and you poke and you poke and you poke, and then the balloon explodes.
Yeah.
And once it explodes, you got a problem. And America has ran from this problem for so long that now it's hit them in the face. It smacked America in the face, and now what are we going to do? What is going to be done? What can we do to change? What can we do to push change, create change? And what can we do to change the reality that we live in? It's a tough question. I don't know if anybody knows, but if you have an idea, you could definitely give us a call at the number on your screen, 901-213-6020. Comments coming in too.
Yeah.
But I don't condone, like I said, the violence and the riots. But at the same time, it's the result of ignoring a problem that we've seen for years and years and years.
Right.
It just is what it is. And America is kind of facing the consequence at this point.
Yeah. And I like I said, I don't believe this has been really that bad, but there are some taking place in some of these cities, you know, that are causing, you know, things to look bad.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
You got people that are committing crime. You have people that are beating up other people. You have the police officers out, type of thing. So situations like, and Josh, one report of police officers dropping their batons and joining the in the protesting here. So,
as a matter of fact, I had that. This is in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is awesome at the same time. So I want y'all to take a look. And this is some good news in the midst of that.
Normally we got police officers fighting the protesters and they're pushing each back, but in this particular you have the police join the protesters in this particular situation. Listen to this. Watch this. We'll be back.
The only reason we're here is to make sure that you got a voice. That's it. Don't think for a second that he represents who these cops are from all over the county and around this nation. We go out there to help people not do that nonsense. There we go. I want to tell you, where's my man? Right. Where's the gentleman? Okay, yeah, my man. Pastor Hawkins, I was going to tell you. To be with y'all for real. Off to lay the batons down. I want to make this a parade. Everyone's here. You got dogs, so listen. I'm just telling you. These love you. That cop over there hugs people. So you tell us what you need to do.
Walk with us. Walk with us. Walk with us. Walk with us. Walk with us.
Let's walk. Let's walk.
Sheriff Chris Watson, sorry.
Well, so what do you think about that? Police and in with the protesters and you don't see this too often. Josh, this type of thing happening here, what has happened. And we just wanted to come on tonight to bring you this situation of what's going on, and you can give your comments. And in a few minutes, we're leaving for tonight. And we also wanted to inform you that from what we understood, there's about, that's a lot of people, Josh, 400 people headed from Atlanta. I don't know when they'll be here. It's just support that they were headed to Atlanta, Georgia, Tennessee, and they were coming to riot, to protest, or whatever.
More than protest. I mean, you wouldn't know about specifically to calm.
So hopefully the Germantown police, everybody, they're on alert with this whole thing. It happens. That's people traveling together from Atlanta.
Yeah, I know. It's
wow.
busing up here. I read in the text. Here in MPD, Germantown, and Collierville, to joining up to the situation. So,
yeah.
Hey,
that is dangerous for people to come from other cities and to cause this type of trouble in our community. I don't know how. To me, that doesn't. At any rate, yeah.
I'm hearing there several more.
Okay.
Frankie says by people in Atlanta is credible. I know this is reliable.
Yeah.
She also says there's about 2,000 people trying to take the bridge right now in Memphis. So, my goodness. Now, what I saw, I've been watching tonight. So, like some of the have been going on.
Mm-hmm.
And was interesting. I've heard that the protest organizers, we'll probably talk more about this in the future, but the protest organizers are wanting to meet face to face with the mayor and the police director. They talk about what they do in Memphis to prevent this type of thing from happening like it's happening in other cities. They have their grievance with the Memphis police and how they have handled things over the years. And these groups have but wow.
Yeah.
Talk about the people that he did now in the city hall involving a lot of these same people that are protesting. So it's been a feud ever since then, several years. Really going back to the bridge, that's the first time several years ago. There's been a clash between Strickland, Rollins, and all those people. So who knows? I do know what I was watching today. of one of the protests. I was hearing the guy. He said, "Hey man, we want to talk to your commanding officer, man. Get him up here." You know, and a lot of folk are saying F12, which means F the police and stuff like that. I don't think. Look, I understand frustration and everything, but I feel like chance like that going to be counterproductive, especially if you want to meet with the police and talk. Why would you curse out somebody you want to meet and talk? It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a situation where you don't want to react with purely emotion. You want to think it out and have the right people in front,
right?
Negotiating and talking, because everybody else isn't up front and talking. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully they get that. Other than that, though, I love how diverse the protests have been in Memphis. A lot of white folks, all sorts of people mixed in with the black community. So it's a very good effort, and it's been very organized up until this point. Now, what happens if they take the bridge? I don't know, because after that first attempt, they were very adamant about not letting that happen ever again. Very organized and very so. I don't even know, man. McCoy out of Columbus building. She says, "Hello, family. Love y'all. Be safe. Love you too. So appreciate you watching, hitting us up as well." Leon Mapstone.
Yeah, no. Hey, if she wants to share, she's done. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Columbus, and some things going on. Maybe she wants in and know what's going on in Columbus. Columbus, Georgia. Yeah,
because man, well, Georgia in general has been a lot of stuff. First, the handling of the virus. A lot of people weren't fans of that. But man, I don't know. You look at Atlanta, Aisha Bottoms. I think it's been good for the most part, and how she's handled this situation with the riots and everything. But what do you think? He is saying if you're rioting and doing all this stuff, you are not working in the favor of your own people. She's saying y'all need to go home, sit down somewhere, basically. Is that a saying the right thing?
Okay, who's saying that?
The mayor of Atlanta. You remember?
Yeah, the mayor of Atlanta, yeah. But she is to me, she's angry.
Oh, yeah.
She is very upset with the people. But
they did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah, and, again, folks, it's black people, destroying people property, businesses, and things like that where people have worked hard to gain. So what's the point? Destroying black people businesses. I don't understand that. I'm not saying that we should destroy any business. Destroy black people businesses. I don't know. What's the point? 901-213-6020. I want just for the next couple of minutes before we leave tonight. Yes, Josh.
Yes, sir. I want to from Nashville as well. What's going on in Nashville and all the stuff that's going on there.
Yeah, let's play this clip, and we'll be back as well. There's crazy stuff in Atlanta. Well, take a listen.
Good morning to you. Last night was a night like no other in Nashville's history. There were clashes between police and protesters, tear gas and looting along Lower Broadway. News Channel 5's Eric Hilt was in the middle of it all and has more.
Alarms echoed along Lower Broadway Saturday night, and broken glass littered the sidewalks. Pieces of what was left behind after an at times violent riot swept downtown Nashville. The day started peacefully. Thousands packed into Legislative Plaza for a rally protesting the death of George Floyd, a black man who was killed by a Minneapolis police officer. Crowds came together as speakers talked about racial justice.
Honestly, I'm just tired. People every day in the streets, so we have an issue with that. And so it's time we stop talking about it and we have to start doing acting.
After the rally, the crowds of people through downtown. But protesters say at some point in the day, things changed.
I think it was definitely for Black Lives, and we mentioned that a lot, but towards the end, it was just peace, and it felt like we got robbed a little bit. You know, it felt like we got cheated because we don't want to just leave, you know? And because then it seems like we're not necessarily.
What was going on? Metro Courthouse, where robbed lampposts, broke windows, and at Hall. After an hour of tense standoffs, Metro SWAT flashbangs and tear gas to move people away from the Metro Courthouse. Some of those crowds moved to behind a trail of flames and truck owners picking up the pieces.
Everything cleaned up. He'll put this place back together and be back in business as quickly as possible.
Nashville, Eric Hilt, News Channel 5.
And you can see the damage going on in Nashville. I mean, you just saw those broken glass, man. You know, and it seems to me, even there, right, it's suspicious how it suddenly changed tone from the day to, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it sounds like everybody's trying to instigate, trying to ramp it up to make it look like from a good thing to a bad thing.
So, folks, hey, we come on tonight and give a little bit of report, especially the report of people heading from another city,
yes, sir,
Atlanta, Georgia, to Memphis. 400 people. That's a lot of people.
A lot of people. So y'all keep on the lookout for that and see what happens. Confirmation, police department is on the lookout, on high alert of that as well. Couple more comments here. Greg says, good evening. What's going on, Greg? Albert says they did a lot of real good with the forest grave in the park, so it can be done. It's Nathan Forrest. Greg says, Miss Keisha, happy the other day. Miss Keisha is mayor of Atlanta, no doubt. Frankie says, I Facebook feed last night, and a white guy named Hunter was instigating a situation last night on Beale Street. And Hunter, I know who you're talking about, is Hunter Dempster. Is a guy that calls himself an activist in the area. You know, like I said, I'm not going to knock him because I know him. I know he has commented on some things on the show in the past about different politicians,
right? Specifically
Berlin Boyd. I've after him for a long time, as well as other people. So I don't know, but I do think he could be a little bit over the top. When you come F the police and stuff, you are productive. I'm being that. What's that going to do? What if they say black folks? Then what you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make. They're not trying to solve anything. By that, because the police are going to be there, so there needs to be some type of working relationship between the police.
Yeah, so, I mean, but what are you going to do without the police?
Yeah, no doubt. That's what I'm saying. So it's a stupid thing to say, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean you don't hold them accountable to do wrong.
Right,
either.
Absolutely.
So, Greg says she fired 2 officers for excessive force over the weekend. Me and Mayor Keisha, she did. A lot of you saw last night when they instituted the curfew, 9 o'clock curfew in Atlanta. Places, Atlanta. 9 o'clock. There were these 2 college students that were pulled over on national TV. Or I think it was the local TV. I got the clip here. Not but y'all could just watch it while I'm talking about it. These were 2 college students, a male and a female, literally ripped out of their car. And you see here the officer's going to punch the driver's side window and break it while shooting in a taser. So the boy, as you see there, is getting tased. Driver's seat. This is all happening on camera. CBS is filming.
Now, when did this happen?
Last night.
Okay.
So you're seeing that there.
To cause the police to do something like this.
That's the weird thing. It looked like they were just driving. And they were out past curfew, 13 minutes past curfew.
Okay, so they broke the law.
Well, no, but here's the thing. That technically,
okay,
13 minutes past curfew. Now, a lot of people are hearing, and the people in Atlanta, hear about the curfew. They issued the 9 o'clock curfew right before 9 o'clock. So there was still a lot of people out and about trying to get home.
Right.
They were going home, according to them. And the police, as you see, I could see no justification for this level of aggression. You see the girl, one guy, he has a taser gun aimed at the boy. He's tased. The guy on the outside of the driver's side window punches and shoots the taser through the window and tases him again. This boy evidently suffered epilepsy as well. And according to reports, he was going right there in the car because of shock. So I just hope, okay.
Yeah, is it the question people are asking, is it getting to the point in these United States of America that black men are being targeted and being hunted or hunted?
Let's use the word
by the police. Is that this is very tragic. Watching this situation here, and then
it looks disturbing, doesn't it?
You know, and then other situations that have happened. We've seen, that have happened. So it doesn't look good to me. And but one of the things that we need to do, and a lot of people are saying, if you're a black young man and you're headed home, the police don't give them any problems. Just cooperate and do what they tell you to do, and be respectful of them. And respectful and cooperate. And, you wouldn't have to deal with it. Possible. I mean, really, is it true though that if they behave that way, things like this will not go down? They will not be.
Antagonized, abused, all that. Yeah, and we say that like you don't know. That's the thing. Now, and we talked about all. You always need to do what you're saying, and that's especially now, with the heightened tensions of everything.
Right.
Be smart. Even if you're even a lot of times, the police, when they pull us. Black men, but at the same time,
a lot of times they're in the wrong when they pull black men.
Plenty of times, yes, a lot.
Some people say not in the wrong when they pull you over, but it's what they do after they pull you over.
Sometimes they're in the wrong for doing it if they have no reason.
Yeah, okay. So they just targeting black men to pull them over.
Yeah,
hoping that the black people
they could find something.
Hoping the black man would do something stupid and give them a reason to kill or do something to the black man.
Absolutely.
That should not be done.
Yeah. All of that. And it amazes me, the amount of black men that I talk about being pulled over by police. And have the worst things happen to them that haven't been reported in the news. The guy I know, pulled over for speeding on the interstate. Man, a policeman approaches his car, gun drawn, yelling at him to get out the car. He didn't do anything.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything to the.
He
was waiting for the officer to come up on traffic control and say, "Okay, let me see your."
He came up there and
driver that type of thing, but yet he came to the door with gun drawn already,
telling him to get out.
Unless the person was wanted.
No, he wasn't wanted for nothing.
Okay.
He was on his way to work.
Okay, I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
No,
for an officer to do something like that.
See, and that's what I'm saying. Look,
I'm a regular traffic control.
I'm at the point like this. All of it is what it is. I'm at the point where no more. I can't give the benefit of the doubt anymore. You know, and I know, look, there's a lot of good officers, whatever. There's a lot of good everything. Mm-hmm. But it's to the point in the where this stuff needs to be called out, point period. Mm-hmm. And something needs to change.
Yeah.
Leadership, training, something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, they get good training in police department academy.
It ain't good enough.
It is. Well, I mean,
look, it's all good. I guess
you can tell a person what to do and train them in a certain way, but after they leave there, they're going to do what they want to do.
Yeah,
and that's how they break the law. And this is what this police officer did to murder George Brown, putting his knee on his neck. George Floyd, yeah. Put his knee on his neck. That's not the part of training. I'm pretty sure in the academy that when you have a guy handcuffed, put him on the ground, put your knee on his neck and till you choke him to death. It's not the training in the academy. This guy did this, you know, because of racism.
Yeah.
He's a racist.
He was evil,
Yeah, that's what it is, you know, so, anyway, hey, guys, we want to thank you for joining us. You, Josh, there was one other clip I wanted you to play. What was that?
But I think we played the ones that,
Okay. All right, that's going to do it. Right, and, hey, thanks to all of you for and your comments and everything. Very good comments that you all made, and we want to thank you for doing that. Vicky, so comments?
I don't. So tell me what it is.
It says, whenever we point out, and you know, well, my old glasses, I can get new glasses, are not cooperating right now. Let's see. Whenever we point out the small things instead of hate and racism in the country, then what's the point? They can replace material things, but you can't replace a life. That's true. She also said there's no need to figure it out. We saw it with our own eyes.
Yeah.
Cold-blooded murder.
That's it.
She also says because black people, life doesn't matter to them. Love keeping us up in arms.
That's it.
Okay. And
let's go to the phones.
Before we leave tonight.
Hank Russell.
Hank,
welcome to the show.
What's up, man?
Good evening.
You not only are y'all up a little late, y'all sound like you're a little late.
Whatever that means.
Goodness. Under the circumstances, you're here from you guys.
Good evening, Hank.
Wow. I know it's a lot going on out there right now.
Yeah.
But I can say what everybody else is saying. I'm in our city currently. One example I could take from what is going on right now with the protest is that, all right, like the one thing that I've noticed in my personal opinion, at least over the past 5 or 6 years since all this is that it doesn't happen in the South that much. You know, you notice that it happens in places like Baltimore, St. Louis, Milwaukee, Minnesota, Boston, all of those places. And it's a testament to how things are still a little bit out of touch, but the fact that we've been around each other so much that we not only tolerate each other, but we love and embrace each other more than people credit for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying this police behavior don't happen in the South?
Well, not as much. And, like it's very, like we're in an era now. If something would happen to George, would happen out here, it'd be heard all over the news. I mean, that's just how the world we live in. We know it would happen. Somebody would catch them. Word would spread. and we don't hear something on that drastic measure these days down here. And I think it's a testament of how much we, nobody's perfect, and the system will be perfect, but it shows that we really do cooperate and get along with each other a lot more than you think. And I'm just trying to right now. I'm not trying to downplay what happened to that man, but I think it's a beautiful testament to what's going on down here.
Okay.
Good point, Hank.
Good point, man. We appreciate it. And do you think the other should jail? I'm not saying. Him answer. Let him answer the question. Yeah. Hank, do you think the other four? I don't know how many other officers were. Do you think the other? Do you think they should face any charges?
Yeah, I mean, lesser charges than the man who actually had his neck out. But yes, I do believe that all face charges. It's accessory. If you're in the same room with a bunch of people, you're just as guilty. So you should go get some sort of. Now, what kind of penalty? That's necessarily something I haven't. Did you hear about that? Did you hear about that Mississippi governor, like a mayor or something like that?
Yeah, I did. It was I think Al Martin guy had. He said that basically George Floyd breathed. He went. So basically, saying is that George Floyd was lying, saying he can't breathe.
George Floyd.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the guy, he said the guy was lying. If he could breathe, how could he talk?
Yeah.
Say, I can't breathe.
Yeah, so he was making fun of that. Yeah.
Wow.
Let me educate everybody out right now. I don't know if anybody watches the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC. But if you ever seen a rear naked choke, if you ever see a rear naked choke, whenever they tap out or even pass out, those guys aren't breathing. It's not that they're not breathing. What it is that the main arteries in their neck are getting cut off. And if they don't tap, they'll pass out, and if they hang on too long, they'll potentially die. And that's what. So yes, he was able to breathe as far as out of his mouth and nose, clearly, of course. But what happened was that the arteries in his neck got squeezed. He died from it.
Yeah, the blood.
And that's the point that this guy clearly knows nothing about that. And I know that watching UFC fights for the past 21 years. So, that's a very disheartening comment. He should have thought something like that. Wow. So, I feel really. He insulted a lot of people's intelligence that know what he said.
All right, Hank. We appreciate the call, sir, and your comments as well.
Yes, sir. Good to hear from you. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, man.
Have a good evening. Good night. 901-213-6020. You'd like to call next minute.
And
yeah,
I'm gonna say the one thing Hank was saying about the police, and I can't really agree with that. About not happening in the South. There's been a lot of stuff happening in the South. I mean, I could just count over the past year. You talk about a man in Louisiana that was shot at the gas station by the police when he was selling CDs at the gas station. Took him down, thought he was stealing something. They shot him in the chest. You could talk about Trayvon Martin, and that whole killing that, and I know that wasn't the police, technically, with George Zimmerman claiming to make a citizen's arrest. It's so many other situations, but I don't know if that's to say the South is doing a better job. I think there's still plenty of incidents. Talk about South Carolina, I believe, with a shot and killed. And I know there are others, if y'all could, that have happened in the South over the past several years. I just can't even get it in my mind right now. But I can't say the South is doing it better when it comes to race relations. But I do say, in this particular instance, not outside anything else, in this instance with the protest thus far, great job.
They're doing a great job. Now, later on tonight, for what we reported earlier is that a confirmation that was reported, we reported that there's over 100 people headed from Atlanta to Memphis to protest or to cause problems in the Memphis, Germantown area.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know how that's going to go. We do understand the Memphis Police Department, Bartlett, Germantown Police, and other local areas and Collierville Sheriff, Tennessee Highway Patrol, all are in high alert, and probably the National Guard will be as well on this particular situation. It all depends on what they do. 400 people is a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you better be ready whenever they hit the city, if that's the case. That is really terrible news to me.
Nuts. It's amazing that this is even going on. It seems like a lot of these places around the country.
Mm-hmm.
You heard about Minneapolis where they arrested 40 people that they suspect a plot protests that happened there. Same in Los Angeles. Same, in New York City.
How can you let 400 people get to your vicinity? And that's a lot of people.
Yeah, but
I'm pretty sure it could stop. I mean, these people can be stopped outside of your area.
You would think.
You think 400 people, that would be a lot of cars.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I heard.
Busing.
Yeah, so
that'd
be funny. It's crazy.
If they're on buses coming this area, I don't know what they could do to stop these people or to do whatever they do. And if they're coming here, I'm pretty sure some of them are coming here probably armed, and they wouldn't come all this way for nothing.
Very weird.
They could protest right where they are, but why in Germantown specifically? I don't know. Okay. Hey, it's been a pleasure to be with you tonight. Thanks for your phone call. Comment and things of that nature, but folks, be careful whatever you do, wherever you're going, and wish you a very, very good night tonight, and we'll see you again. Talk Back Live with 8 minutes past the hour, 10 o'clock Central Time, and a very pleasant good evening to you. Good night, everyone, and have a wonderful, wonderful night.